Hey everyone, welcome back to PokeMarketLab. We are talking prismatic evolutions today. I wanted to provide a little bit of an update on the market as well as kind of put together a plan, kind of tell you what my plan is going into this, as well as how you may want to approach this depending on who you are, whether you're an investor or collector. So with that, let's get a quick update on the market here. ETBs are still about that $100, $105 market price, and these are selling pretty well at this price, with an average daily sell rate of about 50 of these per day over the last month. So the market is certainly accepting, I don't want to say accepting, but people are begrudgingly at least buying these at $100 price points. And the reason we're continuing to see this is that all these pre-orders coming to market that we've seen have been selling out instantly. You have everyone from collectors, investors, scalpers, and flippers looking to get product, knowing that there's a high likelihood that you'll be able to flip these for almost at least 100% profit at release day or close to release day, unless we see a huge influx of product come to market. But as of now, the pre-orders have been pretty. They feel sparse, but again, they're just getting snatched up because there's so much focus on this product right now, and there's just been not enough coming to market to really give us any type of reprieve. And the Pokemon Center ETB is way out there in price right now. I don't have a screenshot of it, but it's way up there. Do not pay those prices. That is something that is high risk for that kind of product to be paying. I think it's over $300 or $400 a box right now. That's one of those. If you missed it, your opportunity is release day, and we'll talk more about that in a few moments. So, yeah, the product. The demand is still high. The demand is not tapering off for Prismatic, as we get into January, it's only going to increase as Surging Sparks continues to get in the rear mirror, and then everyone starts to focus, take their focus from the holidays and everything like that, and everything is, all the focus is squarely on Prismatic once we get into that first and second week of January as we start to get on top of release day here. And I wanted to just remind folks what we have, kind of take a high level look at the type of cards and the quality of cards that we have in Prismatic. And this is only a small snapshot, but remember we have multiple types of EV evolutions here, which typically are extremely popular to begin with. We have that beautiful EV promo card here in the top right corner, the Pokemon Center stamped one. We know historically in Scarlet and Violet, when we have really good promos, that stamp really matters quite a bit for two reasons. It causes cracking of those Pokemon Center ETBs, because remember, that's exclusive. That the stamped version is exclusive to the Pokemon Center ETB. So it causes a reduced population of the Pokemon Center ETBs, and it definitely raises the price of the card quite substantially because the population's so low. And when you have an EV like this, it's a cute scene. You got a stuffed Pikachu on the floor there. This is going to be it's going to be expensive. It's also the first time, I'm pretty sure it's the first time that we have the Master Balls in English. Remember, we saw those in the Japanese version of 151. But those didn't make their way over in the English release of 151. We have those now, and those were really quite hot in 151, so I suspect these are going to be quite hot. So those just, again, you're just kind of looking piece by piece here. You got the EV promo, we got the Master Balls, and then you got these beautiful EV SIR, EV Evolutions SIRs here on the left here, those 9 cards with the, people are calling it the Sunbryon, depending on whether you think it's a sun or a moon. In the top left there, and they're all gorgeous in and of itself. Again, if you just stopped where we, right here, right now, this would be absolute banger of a set, and it just kind of continues on. There's just so much here to digest. There's multiple cards that could be considered chase cards, and it's gonna be wild. And some more SIRs here, just absolutely beautiful. These are all the Japanese previews here. So there's a lot. There's just a lot in this set. And so let's kind of talk about, again, high-level plan. So we know that all ETBs that we're seeing get pre-ordered here at MSRP are getting gobbled up. We've seen a lot of online retailers list theirs higher than MSRP, some as high as that $100 price point. Those got gobbled up as well. So I think right now we have a lot of money that's waiting. We have a lot of people that are saying, I don't want to pay. I'm used to getting ETBs below MSRP. I don't want to pay these high prices. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait till release day. You have a lot of that. I'm guessing a significant amount of money because of that price memory, right? Every set up until now every specialty set, every regular set, any ETB, it's just you've almost always been able to get them below MSRP from multiple places. And that's obviously not possible now. So I think there's a lot of people are just they're still remembering that. And again, moving forward for these specialty sets and even booster boxes, that's going to start to disappear, at least for a short period of time. You're going to have the same kind of hype that you have from Prismatic is going to carry over in some of the next sets as we go into the future here. People are just going to assume that it's going to run up, and instead of making some kind of educated guess as to whether a set's going to do well or not, they're just going to they're going to pay whatever that price is, a blind chance of trying to earn some, do some quick flipping in the short term. So instead of actually looking at the cards and saying, hey, this looks really good, let me juice my orders on this, let me juice what I'm going to get for this product, as in terms of pre-orders. So that chance for MSRP is, I still think it's quickly disappearing, especially as we get into January here. It's kind of quiet right now just because we're right on top of the holidays. And, we had a lot of hype around the set, and we still do. I mean, we're seeing it in the sales of ETBs every single day. And again, everything that's been coming to market for pre-orders, Walmart, we saw recently, there was actually a good chunk of piece of regular ETBs that came to market. And again, they just gobbled up. They were right at $50, $55. And the market just absolutely, I think the pre-orders held on for longer than I would have thought. So I think it was a sizable pre-order number. So again, that window is disappearing. So what you have to do at the moment is kind of make that decision. Do you keep trying to get those? I think keep, trying to get them at the MSRP price as we get some of these quick hits and pre-orders before release day. Absolutely. There's no reason. There's no, you're not losing anything in trying to do that, right? What you have to ask yourself number one, if you're trying to get below MSRP, that's gone. Okay. So anyone who's silly, I see these Reddit posts, I'm just going to wait until they're below MSRP because, because they're used to getting them below MSRP. That's gone. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen post-release. That's not going to happen 6 months from now when they reprint and they drop them on the market. I don't care if it's a sizable reprint. That is gone. I promise you. I would put money on that. Okay. That's gone. You're going to have to pay at least MSRP for the rest of the life of this product and well into the future. So I think the high level question is, number one, yes, you can try to wait and snag a pre-order at MSRP. I think that's viable. I think dollar cost averaging, I think you may want to ask yourself, okay, am I going to assume that the influx of product on release day is going to be substantial enough to drive down the price of product to the point where I can get it at MSRP? I think that's highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. I think there could be a price drop, but I think any price drop on TCG Player below that $100 price point is just going to get gobbled up, and that demand's going to flood into the market, and it's going to drive up that price again. So I think it's reasonable to start thinking, well, maybe we look at between like a $50 and $75 price point for ETBs. I think that's still reasonable if you want to get, if you have an opportunity to get in. I think that's completely reasonable for long-term investors. And just another quick note on the Pokemon Center ETB: do not pay those prices. That's just, to me, that is super, super risky. It's run up in price. I think they're over $400 a box now. There may be an opportunity on release day to snag those. We often, typically, historically have seen them release a bunch of them on release day. Not many, not as much as a pre-order. So I think that may be your last chance to get them. So I would definitely scope that out. Definitely be hawking the website, the Pokemon Center website, to see if you can snag some of those. Those are, could be easy money in the short term if you're looking to just kind of buy something, turn and burn it. Or get them at close to that $60 price point for long-term holds. It's a fantastic product for long-term hold. It's a beautiful set. It's got that Pokemon Center stamped version of Eevee in there. It checks every single box for long-term. I mean, we're already seeing people literally paying now $400 a box for those. So certainly some demand there. So again, on the regular ETBs, I think it would be still reasonable to pay between $50 and $75 just to get. And maybe you don't put, maybe if you're trying to get, a certain number of these, maybe you get a few at that price and you kind of just lock in at that price. I don't think it's unreasonable, especially if you get a long-term price horizon here or long-term hold horizon. I think that's completely reasonable and appropriate. I think hitting that $100 price point. And again, it depends how, are you an emotional investor? Are you okay with price swings? If you're okay with price swings, none of these even $100, I wouldn't pay that myself, but I don't think that's, an egregious price to pay if you're talking about holding this kind of product for 5+ years. I truly, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, I truly believe in this set. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's beautiful. I'm going to crack a bunch of it, way more than I typically do, because I think it's just going to be an absolutely fun opening experience for sure. So, and as we get into January, we get closer and closer, we're going to see those pre-orders they're going to dry up. They're just not going to happen. And I think that your chance of that MSRP or below $100 price point is just going to keep disappearing. And the big question is now, on release day, how much product do we get? If we don't get a ton of product in the market, enough to quelch any of this demand, what's going to happen is all those people that have been waiting for product, they've been waiting for this opportunity on release day to see if, all the Walmarts get all their product for their shelves, Targets get all the product for their shelves. You're going to see scalpers out there like crazy, like waiting for the store to open to grab product. Okay. Because you're not turning and burning these for a few dollars a pop. You're turning them for double the price, right? So there's tons of margin in there to sell locally, to sell on TCG Player, wherever, even with fees. There's money to be made. So you got tons of people who are just going to gobble that product up. Unfortunately, for reasons, personal reasons, or personal benefit financially, but that's just how it is in a bull market like this. So I think there's tons of people waiting, and when they don't see that price drop, their FOMO's going to kick in, and they're just going to start grabbing product at whatever price it is, because you're going to see it's going to answer the question, how much more product's coming to market. And when the market realizes that the supply is certainly not going to meet demand, and I don't think it is, and I think anyone who's waiting for prices to drop, I think, is just not reading the tea leaves here. And it's just going to cause a frenzy after release day. Again, unless we get the rug pulled out from underneath us and there's a ton of product that comes to market, I don't think that's the case. I think there's a lot of people waiting, and they're not going to have a chance, unfortunately, and they're just going to grab product at whatever price they can. So, and last point here, probably a hot take, but I do think this is a potential. I do think it's a potential rival for 151 long term. Does not have the nostalgia necessarily, but it has so much art in there's nothing that we have ever seen in Pokemon that has this type of art in this style. In just, it's so out there in terms of unique styles. It's so unique. It's going to be on a completely different plane than even anything we've seen in Scarlet and Violet. And we didn't see pre-orders pricing like this for 151. Now, this was a different market at the time. It wasn't hot, but people were getting under $40 ETBs for 151 pre-release all day. So this is just a very different beast. And I think regardless of what happens with reprints, regardless of what happens with the market, the cards in and of themselves, the box art, the logo, the cards themselves, it's beautiful, and you can't deny that. So again, I think from an investor standpoint, absolutely worth picking up product. I think it's worth paying a little bit more, especially if you plan to hold these long term. But just be careful. I think above that $100 price point, I think that's where we draw the line in the sand. And for the Pokemon Center ETBs, we definitely draw the line in the sand, well below the $400 price point. So at that point, it's just, if you can get them on release day from Pokemon Center, great. If you can't, you missed out. Unfortunately, that's the reality for those. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll do another update here as we get into January in Prismatic, see if anything changes. But right now, very, very steady. Nothing's really changed, and the market's still hot for it. So that's it, and we will see you on the next one.